Somewhere there's a farm called Wie kan sê. It means who can tell. The security forces who tortured activists and detainees on this farm must have thought that no one would ever know. But the recent exhumations of murdered activists suggest a pattern involving farms throughout the country. Dumisa Nsibeza, head of the Truth Commission's Investigations Unit, speaks about what could become known as South Africa's death farms.
And as far as farms go, one identifies at least three categories. What appears from investigations thus far is that there were farms which were used as headquarters by the security police or by Flag Plus type units, you know. We have Flag Plus, we had Andy Taylor's Camperdown farm where he used it as headquarters. We had a similar sort of headquarters in East London, which was used by the security police in the late 80s and early 90s. Then we have what one called so-called interrogation farms. Those are the farms that were at Tongat, Elandskop, again the East London farm. And then there is a place that we have just recently got a lead on, and that is between Groblersdal and Denilton. And of course you have your post chamas, and there is in the Eastern Cape there's a place with a very interesting name called Wie kan sê. But you'll find, of course, that some farms are both interrogation farms and burial farms, like in the instances here in KwaZulu-Natal. We find that one of them apparently belonged to the KwaZulu-Natal government. And there is a lease agreement that we have unearthed. It is difficult at this stage to say whether all these farms were hired or were used for the specific purposes with the concurrence or collusion of their respective owners, except certainly in the case of Alwan North. We may discover, of course, that there are others. We are looking closely in the Port Elizabeth area. There seems to be an indication that in the Port Elizabeth, Port Alfred area, there may be, you know, a farm or farms that were used as burial sites. I think the issue is whether those grave sites, which we believe will be pointed out to us in the near future, were paupers' graves, or whether they have anything to do with the mandate of the TRC.
Tell me about the Aliwal North exhumations. Do you have strong evidence besides forensics evidence about whether those were members of an MK unit?
Well, the evidence seems to be sufficient. I wouldn't say it is conclusive, but it seems to be sufficient because, one, it is a consequence of an earlier investigation that fits the description of the people who disappeared. I was at the burial site. I was in possession of one of the photographs that were taken by the police in 1981, and I think it is the photograph of the brother of Tokyo Sekhwale. The photograph of the body that was taken by the police in 81 shows a bullet between the eyes, or a bullet hole between the eyes. And one of the skulls that was unearthed in Alwan North seems to suggest a bullet hole between the eyes.